Hello and Namaste. Welcome to Indic Atman. As part of the Indian Vedanta series, we have looked into the introduction to Vedas, Tattva Bodha, and 4 Upanishads in the past videos. Let us continue our swim in this vast ocean of wisdom. Our topic for today is Mundaka Upanishad. Some Upanishads are named after the rishi who compiled it, and a few others are named after the key concept covered in it. But this Upanishad is named after the disciple. The word Munda means the head or the shaving of the head. The removing of hair is symbolic of the removing of ignorance and material life, and this is believed so not just in Hinduism but in many other religions as well. It suggests that the supreme wisdom is able to penetrate through the crown of the head. It is assumed that the Mundaka Upanishad is mainly for the seekers who have shaved off their head, or in other words, who have shaved off all the worldly desires and have advanced on their spiritual path to the next level. Let us pray that through this Upanishad we are also able to progress a bit further in our spiritual journey. The Mundaka Upanishad has 64 shlokas or verses. The Upanishad can be divided into 6 sections for the purpose of study. Origins of knowledge, the rituals, the supreme human, the Brahman, the metaphor of 2 birds, and the qualities of a spiritual seeker. Let us begin with the first section, origins of knowledge. Of all the gods, Brahma was the first. He is the knower of everything. He has the knowledge of all reality. That is why it is called Brahma Vidya or divine wisdom. He passed on his knowledge to his firstborn, Hiranyagarbha, also known as Atharva. From here on, it was passed down from one student to another, from Atharva to Angi, to Rishi Satyavaha, to Angira, to Shaunaka. Shaunaka once asked Angira, "What is that by knowing which everything is known?" Angira replied, "There are 2 types of knowledge, Paravidya and Aparavidya. The higher and the lower knowledge. The higher knowledge is the pure divine knowledge which is independent of any scriptures, rituals or practices, independent of any religion. The lower knowledge is the knowledge required to survive in this world, and it can include something simple like making a cup of tea, but also includes the various earthly ways to connect to the divine, such as the religions, scriptures, spiritual places and spiritual practices. With this definition, the Vedas are still a part of the lower knowledge, Aparavidya. The higher knowledge is the knowledge you gain through these Vedas at some point of time, which will lead you directly to the divine. Yat tad adrishyam agraham agotram avarnam achakshu shrotram. The higher knowledge is invisible, ungraspable, without any origin, without any qualities, and beyond our organs and senses. It is also Nityam, Vibhum, Sarvagatam, Susukshamam, and Avayayam, meaning it is eternal, full of manifestations, all-pervading, subtle, and indestructible. The Upanishad says, just as the spider builds its web, or the plants sprout from the seed, or the hair grows out of a body, the same way the universe has spread out from God. It is through Brahma's tapas or meditation, all the forms, the mind, the food, and the world of action were created. The pure consciousness in us is always aware of the totality of this universe as well as the minute details of everything just by thought. The next section focuses more on the Aparavidya or the lower knowledge, such as the rituals. There are specific fruits from both the higher and lower knowledge, so the lower knowledge should not be seen as less relevant than the higher. Rituals were very popular in the ancient ages, especially in the Treta Yuga, and were performed with specific intentions. A sacred fire or Agni would be kindled for the Havan, and various oblations or Ahuti would be put in the fire, symbolizing various sacrifices. And all this was done with the focus on the divine and with pure faith. This ritual is called Agnihotra. The ritual was performed at a specific auspicious time attended by various guests with proper offerings and done according to scriptures. The Agni or fire used for the ritual has been described in 7 ways. Kali, the black one; Karali, the terrific one; Sulohita, the deep red one; Sudhumra, the smoke-colored one; Spulingini, the sparkling one; Vishwaruchi, the bright one; and Manojava, the one which is as swift as the mind. In the Vedic period, there were no idols. Agni or fire was symbolic of the meditation process to connect to the divine, the flames representing our thoughts. If we do not control our thoughts, what will happen to us? Imagine what happens if the flames are not in control. These flames representing our thoughts can be our friend or our enemy. When controlled and fed with the right offerings, they will lead us to heaven. This whole process of yajna or the fire ritual is considered as the boat which will take our thoughts and mind to the divine to fulfill our desires. But a seeker who only wants to fulfill desires is still ignorant and blind. He lives in a delusion of having reached a spiritual goal just because one of his desires was fulfilled. Such seekers get trapped into the cycle of having new desires and fulfilling those through rituals. This is not a criticism of rituals, but a reality. Seekers who get tired of this cycle then seek to come out of this cycle and walk on a path where there are no desires. Here the focus is only on the ultimate truth and God. Then they start their search for the Guru who will help them to walk on this path. Here the Guru chosen should be the right one, the one whose mind is at rest and whose senses are controlled. Only then this Guru is eligible and will help the seeker to look beyond the lower knowledge in search of the higher knowledge. The next section turns around to the higher knowledge again. The Supreme Human, Brahman, the Virat. The Upanishad says everything in this universe has been created out of the Supreme Human. Like from the fire, different flames arise, and from the flame, different sparks arise. In the same way, everything in this universe, including us, have been created from that one Supreme Spirit, and at an appropriate time, we will all dissolve back in the same Spirit. This being and knowledge is Parataha Para, meaning highest of the high. At the gross macrocosmic level, the fire can be considered the divine being's head. The 2 eyes are the sun and the moon. The 4 directions are its ears. The Vedas are its speech. Air is its breath. The universe is its heart and mind. And the feet is the earth. Panchagni rituals. The Upanishad also describes 5 cosmic fires or Panchagni at the macrocosmic level. From the sun comes the first fire. From the moon comes the rains, clouds, the second fire. From the earth comes the third fire, which are the herbs and plants. With nutrition from the herbs and plants, the man builds his body and the creative force of semen, and the woman receives it and gives rise to a new life. The man and the woman are considered the 4th and 5th fires. This is Panchagni, the cycle of 5 fires. Karma Kanda rituals. The Karma Kanda contains descriptions of various sacrifices or rituals that have to be conducted in order that the performer obtains their respective desired fruits. It includes chanting of Vedic mantras, personal sacrifices, detailed procedure of the yajna, dakshina or offerings to be made, timing of the rituals, etc. The rituals are mainly for people who are more concerned with fulfilling certain sensory, earthly desires and are not concerned with the ultimate purpose of life. Upasana Kanda. In these rituals, the performer of the ritual is aiming to achieve something higher than the material desires. The performer observes abstinence, tapas or meditation, self-restraint, and a disciplined life to achieve certain skills, merits, or spiritual levels. The seeker is still not fully liberated from desires here, only the quality of desires have changed. It is only with Jnana-kanda rituals the seeker is ready to disentangle from his ego and merge into the Supreme Human, the one who is the entire universe itself. Jnana-kanda is the entry point to Paravidya or higher knowledge. Where and how does one find the Supreme Brahman? The Rishi describes it as bright, radiant, handsome, worthy, adorable, eternal, the one who is very close to us and always on call for us. He resides in the cavity of our heart. His name is the Mahat, the Great One. Everything that moves is Him. The whole creation is superimposed on Him. He can be contacted or connected with everything in this universe that has a form or has no form. The student then adds to it from his point of view. We need to keep our mind on the nature of self, our eye on the great cosmos, knowing that we are all the universe. Anything that is perishable is to be kept aside. Only the Grand Spirit is our guide, our eyes, our speech. Only He is real. In terms of time, it says the most important moment in your life is this moment, now. Now that you have the bow, the knowledge, and the arrow, your meditation, withdraw the string of your senses and objects and focus on your target and shoot. The knots of your heart will become untied. All the doubts will be dispelled and all your karmas will be consumed when you see yourself and the universe as both the cause and the effect. All this is immortal Brahman. In front is Brahman, at the back is Brahman, to the right is Brahman, and to the left is Brahman. Below is the Brahman and above is the Brahman. Everywhere is Brahman. Brahman alone is this whole world. The metaphor of two birds. In this section, the Upanishad uses the metaphor of two birds to explain an important concept. There are two birds on a tree and they are in a close friendship. One bird eats the fruits of the tree with a lot of joy. The second bird just observes the other bird as a spectator without eating anything. What did you get from this metaphor? The first bird is the individual soul or jiva with an ego, and the second bird is the supreme soul or Paramatma. The jiva with its ignorance drowns itself in the worldly existence and relishes the worldly things. It will taste the bitter and sweet fruits of the world representing the joys and sorrows. The second bird is an illuminated soul who just observes the world and does not taste the fruits of the world. It is unaffected by it. It is majestic, it is calm and content in itself. The Upanishad explains the accessories on the path of becoming the second bird, the illuminated soul. Na ativadi, not indulging in vain blabbering and does not have the need to be seen as the best. Atma krida, enjoying the company of their true self, spends time on spiritual practices such as meditation or reading scriptures. Satyam, the wise soul is truthful in all things, but especially about self. They cannot remain in falsehood or show fake behaviors or any kind of pretense to impress people. Tapas or austerity, meaning exposing self to fasting or any kind of bodily deprivation. The highest tapas, however, is the restraint of mind and senses. Samayag Gyan, knowledge of the self, that is the ultimate wisdom. Brahmacharya, self-control towards excessive desires of anything, especially of sexual attraction. It says there are 8 stages of sexual attraction. Imagination of the person, seeing the person, admiring them in the mind, praising them, perceiving them as being the most wonderful, conversing with them, accompanying them, and finally uniting with them. One has to be aware of these steps that the mind and body are going through and control it when it needs to be controlled. Jnana Prasada, one who is understanding, is calm and has a refined intellect. Vishuddha Sattva, a purified soul, a clean mirror which reflects God's light. Sushrusha Archayat, one who honors the Gurus, the sages, and the saints. Let us now move to the last section in this Upanishad, the qualities of a spiritual seeker. The Upanishad has 11 verses which describe in detail various qualities or sadhanas that a seeker should practice or strive to attain in order to be disciplined to achieve the spiritual goals. I am only able to provide a summary in this video. The seeker should be one who honors the sage without any desire, one who is free of all desires, who is yearning for the self, whose strength is generated by firm self-abidance, who is free from inadvertence or lack of attention, who has the knowledge associated with monasticism, who is content with the knowledge obtained, who is free from attachments, who is peaceful, calm, with senses withdrawn, who is merged in deep contemplation, who has total clarity in self-knowledge, who practices the yoga of monasticism, who has supreme purity, who attains immortality due to merging in Brahman, who practices total cessation of the entire worldly state, who practices absorption of the 15 kalas, and who is the knower of Brahman. He becomes Brahman. This concludes the Mundaka Upanishad. In the next video, we will look at the Katha Upanishad, which is full of interesting stories. So subscribe and tune in again. If you like the content, do support the channel, press like and share it with your family and friends. Stay peaceful and take good care. Tathastu. Namaste.